Welcome to Kawayan Cafe, where every sip serves a tale and every tale weaves the bamboo heartbeat of the Philippines. This is Rika, your host. Dive in as we unfold the lush stories and sustainable trails of our beloved bamboo landscapes. Welcome to Bamboo and Beyond. I'm Rika, and today we journey into the world where bamboo meets permaculture. To start, for those unfamiliar, what makes bamboo such a unique plant? How have you seen bamboo integrated into permaculture designs, and what are some standout uses? So, I want to introduce our guest. There's the only person that I know in the Philippines that can ever talk about permaculture, Mr. Bert Peters. Hi,
Hi,
Bert.
Rika. Nice meeting you here. Yes. Well, that's a very it's a simple question, but it's also a simple answer actually. Maybe not that simple, but it's the amazing thing. It's bamboo is a plant. Imagine a plant, something that grows fast, and the way that it grows fast, the structure of its biology is making it such an amazing thing because. Not just for permaculture, but I think for almost everyone in the process of using bamboo. The plant grows fast. It's an amazing big grass, and it helps to cultivate the soil. In the process of doing that, it gives us so much building and not just building material, but also food and things to eat. So, in a permaculture concept, looking at the multifunctionality of things, I think bamboo is an amazing versatile grass. And that makes it really special because I think we are umbilically connected to bamboo in many ways in Southeast Asia. It's part of the culture. It's part of our stories. It's part of um, the things that we talk about. And uh, we all love to eat labong. If it's the season of labong together with saluyot, which is another slimy thing, but it makes a beautiful dish, and you have the coconut always there. So it's that amazing grass that really prevents people from dying from hunger, and I think that's what amazes me in the first place. Yeah.
Oh, for our listeners who might be new to the term, can you briefly describe permaculture and its core principles?
Uh, Permaculture is a design science. So basically, when you look at nature and when you understand that nature has been around for more than 4.8 billion years, then you realize that in the process of Earth growing to what it is today, went through so many phases, and every phase has been bringing the best out of living and non-living things that were a match to be alive at that time in this planet. So if we are alive at this time in this planet, then we only have to turn to nature to be able to understand how we should be building things. What is the food that we can access? How can we improve our living conditions by just looking at nature? Because all of the designs that we need to know that we have practiced in the past and probably will practice in the future are basically mimicked from nature. So permaculture is a little bit like biomimicry. It's trying to understand in a deeper sense what nature is all about, and it looks at the amazing principles on how things are being kept alive and beautiful in that sense. So it's about caring for that earth because we understand that everything we need to know comes from it. It's about caring for people because we have different likings, different inclinations. So working with each other, we kind of maximize the process of what people see, what people experience. And then the third is fair share. Everyone should have access to nature. Everyone should be able to see and understand nature, to be able to draw conclusions out of it. And I think we are in challenging times. Climate change is upon us. There is another El Nino coming. So for us to see beyond that as a disaster, but to see and to understand how we can use permaculture designing, banking on nature as a way to deal with potential disasters and to improve life as we know it. So it's a hopeful design science because nature is always hopeful, and I guess nature takes care of us. We are living on a planet that is taking care of us, and to be able to understand that, it's the first step for us to feel at ease and to feel at home. And there is a lot of anguish, and there's a lot of people are getting a little bit jittery because what's going to happen to the world, the future, etc. But when you get into permaculture, you understand that the more you understand nature, the more you can kind of feel at ease, and you feel empowered. It comes with the life skills again for us to connect to the things that really make our heart tick a little faster. And it's not just love between one person to another, but it's also about watching a bird doing its thing in the morning, understanding how an animal is able to make its nest. These are simple things, but all of that we need to understand as well as human beings. So permaculture is amazingly creative. It really uses uses bamboo, sorry, as one of the main ingredients for us to do things and to construct with, surely in Southeast Asia, and that makes it an amazing combination, the two materials, bamboo and permaculture.
Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, with bamboo, you mentioned how complementary bamboo and permaculture is. It seems like a perfect fit for permaculture. Can you explain how they complement each other?
It's even in more ways, because to some extent I think wood is equally important. Any natural material for that matter is. We should wean off from cement, because cement is seemingly the magic material that's strong and keeps everything up. But it's not resilient. It's not renewable. It's hard. You can't really deal with it once you break it up and once you destroy it. So here comes wood. Here comes bamboo. Bamboo is super fast, 3 to 5 years, and you start harvesting it. You can use it even earlier for small kind of construction. So in a permaculture movement, when we try to improve the way we grow food, the way we build our environment, it makes but sense that we hasten that process. And in that sense, bamboo comes in handy, because we can start using it almost immediately. And since it's growing so fast and so well in our tropical clay soils, it really makes sense to add it to a permaculture design or a permaculture farm. So in that sense, it really complements. But once your system is going into maturity, bamboo becomes one of the many components that will be part of carrying your permaculture system towards abundance. And wood will be part of that, and earth and compost and other plants and so on. But you will always go back to bamboo, because that's the time when you need to make a little nursery, or you want to make a quick table, or you want to eat your labong, and and then you want to mulch things, and you want to it's just, or you want to just irrigate your rice field, and you just chop the bamboo in two, and then you make a little canal. There's so many little simple uses that you don't have to run to a hardware to buy stuff. If you know how to use bamboo, basically it's your little hardware, secret hardware store. You can make pegs with it. You can drink the water in there. Some of the bamboo varieties that are growing native and endemically in the forests of the Philippines. If you're thirsty, you just chop a segment out and you just drink it like that, and you're good to go again. So again, that's connecting to the first question. Remember, bamboo is taking care of us, and so it's but normal that we would take care of bamboo as well.
You talk about how bamboo takes care of humans, but can bamboo support local wildlife and insects as well?
Yeah, because it's like surely the ones that are very clumpy, and most of the ones growing in Southeast Asia are clumping bamboo varieties. So you get this the most famous would be the Kawayan tinik, the thorny bamboo. Then you get all these thorns, and it's in the middle under air. It's impenetrable. It's dark, and that's the house of the snakes, and that's where the lizards are. And if you go a little bit higher, that's where you see the ladybugs, but you see also there the birds that are hunting the ladybugs. So every level of the bamboo has its own kind of, it's like an apartment building, the lower residence, the middle residence, and then the upper residence is the birds. more birds that are perching on it and using the bamboo as a kind of a launching pad to dive for insects. So it's a quick way to restore biodiversity, surely on riverbanks when we need kind of a riverbank is already the riparian zone. It's already the place where there's so much abundance, so much life brimming. So if you add bamboo there, you and hold the soil together, you and keep the riverbank healthy. At the same time, you give habitat to all these animals that are basically helping you to improve the farm ecosystem. Because the snakes at night, they don't go out during the day. At night, they will go and hunt the rats in the fields. And if you plant a bamboo nearby the rice fields, you have a free worker that you don't pay any salary, and they're doing the work for you. So understanding that, I think we need to go back to that. Bamboo is an amazing biodiverse component in your landscape, and if you treat it well, you're going to harvest more benefits than anything else.
So you talk about integrating bamboo into the landscape. What about integrating bamboo into edible landscapes? Can you share more about this concept?
Bamboo is already part of the edible landscape in the sense that labong is really it's a good ingredient, and it doesn't score high on the price on the market, so it's a lowly product. But then again, when you look at rainy season, the abundance of all this labong coming up, and you don't want, if you manage a clump, you don't want all of the labong to grow into bamboo poles. You have to choose, and that's something you learn once you start managing and maintaining bamboo clumps. So you start choosing which one you will eat. But then again, you don't want to eat maybe the labong all at once. So again, processing that into a food product that you then can eat when the time of the labong is over, like in the dry season. That's already one thing. On the other hand, if I go back to the edible landscaping, a permaculture landscape, a permaculture designed landscape would be always an edible landscape, because food is something that we celebrate so much in this country. And if you eat 5 times a day or 4 or 3 times a day, it doesn't really matter. But to have access to that food and to make sure that bamboo as a resilient material can help you grow that food. As I mentioned earlier, imagine just building a simple trellis with bamboo for your patola, for your gourds to grow on, for your tomatoes to climb onto. You chop a few of the branches, you use the upper parts of it, you can make tunnels over water that runs through your farm. So when you can go with the kayak under and then pick the fruits while you're kayaking through your farm. I'm just trying to put some imagination at work here, but the sky is really the limit. And again, if you have the snakes hunting for your rats, helping to maintain a balance in your edible landscape, the birds that will perch and eat the little worms and grubs that are eating your roots and your fruits, all of them are working with you, for you, to be able to maintain at least a balance, so you will never end up with a garden that is devoid of fruits or any harvest. There will always be something for you to harvest. And by placing the bamboos in a strategic location so they don't take away too much of the shade of the other plants, you can easily achieve that kind of setup.
Nice. Cool. Well, you're always talking about labong, which is really the bamboo shoots. Aside from the labong or bamboo shoots, are there any other edible or medicinal uses of bamboo?
I mean, it's a grass. I don't know, but people can extract all kinds of juices out of it. I think labong would be the most important, and I think the most widespread. I think bamboo has been used in our culture for many other stuff, like since it's clean water that comes in it, as I mentioned earlier. So it's a water holding component. So you can drink the water if you're really thirsty from the nodes of the bamboo. The material inside is really very clean, so you can also use it for what do you call it, for stitching wounds. You can make a needle with it. You can, if you're in an emergency and you need to kind of clean something, bamboo is clean itself. once you use the inside. So for medicine uses, I haven't gone through that level, but I'm sure that with all the varieties out there, there must be something. If we are drinking barley juice that is being imported from Australia, it's a grass as well. So
Yes.
why not? Why not? I think research is needed. You know, since I touched permaculture in 2000, I realized that the sky is the limit. There are so many things we need to understand and to research on. My strategy is, if I can't do all of that myself, I just want to have all of these plants with me in a nice place. Call it a farm, call it a permaculture, edible landscape, whatever. But if ever I have the time, or if ever there are people who want to research on it, at
Yeah.
least it's there, and we have the diversity ready for us to. But Rika, one thing I discovered also, sometimes it's not about the medicine, because that's really curative. We always talk about what's the benefit of this or that, but the preventive power of plants like that, like when you sit in the morning, drink your cup of coffee, and you look at the swaying bamboo near the sunrise, that makes you happy. It gives you kind of a boost, an energy boost for the day. And then who who can prove that? Who will ever be able to prove that happiness is the best cure for? Somehow people agree on that. We all agree on that. But uh, let's be happy. Let's be happy and amazed by the beauty of what nature has given us. And I think bamboo, it's elegantly swaying in the wind. And even if the winds are too strong, there's a typhoon. It's a little bit less elegantly swaying, but your bamboo will still be alive after the typhoon, and you'll clean it up again, and then in a matter of 3 months you have a beautiful clump again. So um, it's sometimes also to be amazed by how these plants are so resilient, and how helpless sometimes we are as human beings, and to take it on from there, and then to be happy that bamboo is a productive part of our landscapes, our edible landscapes at any time.
Nice. Thank you for that answer. So let's talk about you, Bert. What has been the most innovative project you've seen or worked on combining bamboo and permaculture? And what challenges did you face?
When we started permaculture in 2000, bamboo was immediately part of what we did, because we started in a farm which was just plain monoculture rice fields, and that means that there was nothing there except rice and grass. But there was no bamboo grass anymore, because the farmers were really into monoculture, and so everything that reaches more than 2 meters had to be chopped immediately. So when we started converting that farm, we planted bamboos. But then we also said we want to build bamboo. So we started designing with bamboo, using and trying to go back of what the local knowledge was still capable of doing. Where were the people who were still building with bamboo? And this is Central Luzon, so we were looking for people. And, we found out it's a dying skill. Then we got some workers who are working with Ning Encarnacion, who could stay with us, and we built the first, let's say, pure bamboo building. And that was amazing insight for me, because and anyone I see now when we teach how to make bamboo pegs, they're always amazed. Oh, we can do that. So the first time I saw that, I said, "Oh, this is actually amazing. Everything is bamboo. No more nails. No more tie wire. No more plastic straw." Uh, we were doing it also with rattan, the first building. So it's a little bit more challenging to get that material in many places, because our forests are depleted. But when I saw this first bamboo building with anahaw leaves, and built with pegs, and cut with bamboo that came from nearby areas, then I said, "Wow, this is actually really an amazing material." And that bamboo building that we constructed in 2005 is still standing. So it's almost going to 20 years, with some repairs in the past, but generally the main bamboo posts are still there. So for me, that commitment also from the start, that bamboo is not the poor man's timber. Bamboo is something I would like to show to people, that it can last more than 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. So I think we have proven that case. And at that time, bamboo was still a pioneering field because now many more are into bamboo. But at that time, it was really hard to get feedback and support and so on from others to do this thing. So we were all experimenting, but we had fun doing it. And what do you call it? My second take with bamboo was really when I built a house in the city in Marikina. When I said I want to build an off-grid house, because that was after many more years later, after 15 years later, I felt like I want to bring bamboo to the city because I also believe that it should not be treated like just a combustible material and no, you can't do anything with it. With all the ugliness around us, with all the hardscapes, with all the air-conditioned buildings, I said, bamboo, it's still something. You know what? The temperature you feel outside is what you get inside. Yes, it doesn't insulate much, but then again, looking at the combination of earth and bamboo, all of these things made me realize that clay, bamboo, rice, and clay tiles, all of these things, they come together. They are all basically built with the same material. They're grown with that silica, that amazing component in nature that kind of binds things together, hold the water there, makes things shed off water easily. It's about our food. It's about how we build things. And, sometimes it's nice to go back to realization that we knew all of these things. People in the Philippines knew all of these things, but, colonial powers have kind of erased that kind of knowledge and then replaced it with something that's now kind of like the expectation of everyone. I need to have my hollow blocks and I need to have my cement building, and the highest goal is to have an aircon. But life in its basic simplicity, it's just out there, and bamboo is one key that will make you realize that. So I would challenge everyone, Rika, right now to just build a small house, just a small house, something, a kubo in the back of your home. It doesn't have to be big, because I know we are now into big bamboo buildings, but sometimes to practice and hold the material, you could make a building, a small bamboo hut in the trees for your kiddos, or you can make just a place where you can relax and have your siesta. I don't know, but uh, how do we bring more and more people into the amazing world of bamboo would be for them to overcome the first hurdle, which is maybe the fear of I cannot do this, it's too difficult, I don't know how, So if we can help them to notch up their game, then I think people will understand that we are living in a beautiful country, but we are on a fast track to lose it because we are plastering it with materials that are not supposed to be used. And if we can do it otherwise, it would be a beautiful country. I'm sure of that.
Yes, Bert, I hear ya. So what's going on with you? Do you have any workshops ongoing? What's happening? Do you have any, like,
Well,
somebody wants to know more, how would they be able to find you?
I'm still involved as a board with the Philippine Permaculture Association. We do the yearly convergence. So November 24 to 26, every last weekend of November, we try to gather people, come together, share stories, build skills, because we also believe that the more people that get into something, but of course, we are not only focusing on bamboo. Bamboo will be one program. One of your trainees, again, will do that. But we also talk about beekeeping, we'll talk about food, we will talk about earth building. So the basic components I was sharing, we will talk about that during these 3 days. That's with PPA. We also have a group that will say Brilliant Practices Permaculture Incorporated. We feel that so many people have lands out there, and it's not just about making a bamboo plantation. What we want to do is to help people make the best out of their land. And that's why we do the master planning with that organization, because we feel that instead of getting into monocultures, by giving people a good advice on how to best build and manage their land in the process, based on the capacities of people, what people have and what people can do. We can guide them to kind of an abundance in a very short term. I think that's important. People can't wait, and I can't say they are not right in that, but helping them to go on the fast track as soon as possible. That's also part of what we want to do. In PPA, we train people. With BPPI, we try to help people develop the assets that they have. And they can find us on Facebook. They can find us at any other location. We are not that invisible. I think we need to find each other more often because that kind of cross pollination, inoculation of ideas and so on. It's kind of important because the science of permaculture. I can speak for that. You can speak for bamboo more, but the recent awardee of the Ramon Magsaysay Awards was from East Timor, was a permaculture practitioner, si Mr. Ego Lemos. And for me, what I like about that is that even organizations like that, like Ramon Magsaysay, are kind of seeing the benefit of permaculture as a tool to help a young nation like East Timor develop itself and build up its capacities. I think even as a big country like the Philippines, we think we are smart and we have done everything, but we could still learn from that because we haven't put permaculture that central in our lives. So the more we connect, the more we talk about this, I guess, the more people will listen, hear stories, and probably come up with their own solutions to do this. And I'm looking forward to that. Getting older every day, so more people to come into the field. It would be fun to kind of work with them all throughout.
The 3-day event, where is it going to be?
It's going to be in Cabiao, Nueva Ecija. It's to start. Actually, the first time I bring back something we bring back something to the cradle of where it all started, and kind of excited about that as well. It's
24 to 27? 24 to 27?
To 26.
24, 25, 26. How come you haven't invited me yet?
I'm busy. Mea culpa, mea culpa. But it's easy reachable from Clark and it's easy reachable from Metro Manila, and it feels like you're in a different realm. And that's exactly what we want. Other people with equal kind of ideas to do as soon as possible. Because I don't know if I should say this, but many friends, many people who are excited about developing the lands, we can see them make the same basic mistakes. And instead of them gaining something out of it in 3 years time, they may have to wait 10, 15 years and then realize the mistakes are hard to undo. So we don't want anyone to make mistakes. We would like everyone to learn from our mistakes more than anything else, and then make sure that others can skip one step.
Bert, for my final question, for our budding permaculturists or anyone wanting to get started, any advice on how to get started?
Yeah, all the information is online. Yes, I've been training since 2008. There's lots of people who kind of always hit back on the fact that the trainings are expensive. The old ram about. So I would say if you can do it online, if you can join an online training, we are doing it at UPOU. PPA is part of that. That's the cheapest option at your own pace, and then you can go on internet and look up all the information you want. But based on my experience, and this is not PR because I don't want to train anymore, but I'm still into it. A face-to-face training and you getting out after 10 or 7 days with a concrete plan that you can do in your own place is the fastest way to learn. You know why? Because every place is specific. And you know what is difficult? It's the translation of something that came from the internet and how does it appeal to your place in Mindanao or in the Visayas or in Northern Luzon. So every place has different context. And if you have seasoned people with you to ask that question and debate these things, you get through that in 7 days. It's a little bit more difficult if you have to do it on your own pace in online. So get into a training, I would say. If you still have difficulties with developing your master plan, as I mentioned, there are people helping you with master plan development with the permaculture lens given. So, there is a lot of connections available in this country, people of different likings and different focus as well, because everyone. Permaculture is also like it's developing a place to your own liking. So Rika, if you are into bamboo, for instance, I guess your permaculture paradise will be lots about bamboo and maybe less about food. But then there is your husband who likes to cook. So again, here comes the blend of both. Diba? So and later
Yeah.
on, your kiddos will be interested in making things. So then again, that place should also be able to produce the crafts or the materials that are needed to build this. So for me, for me, permaculture design and to start that is to really look at your own self and say, what do I like? What do I want? Because you're not just going to make a farm. We are not farmers. I mean, I don't think we should be farmers. We should be gardeners. We should grow our food. I agree to that. But in the first place, we should grow these things for ourselves. We should grow bamboo, but in the first place, we should grow it for ourselves. So it's not about the plantation. It's not about the market, but it's about feeding yourself and making yourself happy and knowing what that means. So getting to know yourself is a good step to start with permaculture and with bamboo as well.
Wow. Thank you, Bert. That's actually the hardest part, right? Getting to know yourself.
Exactly. But in trainings we can help. You have to admit that when we have a face-to-face thing, when there is this dialogue, then people, it's a reflection thing, and
Yeah.
and that's what I like about the face-to-face training is that
Yes.
you can go hard in the evenings, you can go gentle in the morning, and if people are still not yet satisfied, they can come back and stay a little bit longer or something like that. We are flexible about these things, and I know you are as well. So it's about accommodating people. It's about accommodating each other, and yeah, that's important. Yes, we need to listen to each other again. We need less need for psychiatrists, but more warm, welcomed environments where people can feel liked, and when they can also feel themselves kind of connected with that land, with that place, with that space that was given to them. So yeah,
Wow. Thank
yeah.
you so much, Bert. This is why I love talking to you.
Welcome, welcome.
Well, thank you for the
So
time and for joining us for Bamboo and Beyond. And I hope it's not the last time. So
probably not.
see you soon, Bert. Thank you.
Thank you, Rika. Bye bye.
Thank you for joining us on Kawayan Cafe. Let's not just admire bamboo, let's live it. Remember to subscribe, spread the word, and leave us some insights. Till next time, Bambuhay!